Hello, and welcome to the Hive Mind podcast, where the collective wisdom of the travel industry helps U.S. travelers with the right destinations and the right hotels. I'm your host, Whitney Schindler, founder and CEO of The Hive, a platform designed to give travel advisors organized, actionable insights they can put to work right away. Each week, I sit down for focused, real-world conversations with travel advisors, hoteliers, and supplier partners who know these places inside and out. We break down how each hotel is best suited to a specific client profile, take quick deep dives into destinations, and share pro tips to help you make the most of the Hive. And here's the best part. You don't need to take notes while you listen. Go about your day, tune in, and know that every insight from these conversations is already captured and organized inside the Hive, so it's there when you actually need it. And if you aren't in the Hive yet, you can get resources from this and other episodes when you join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. Today, we have a new episode of The Essentials, a deep dive all about helping you not just understand a destination, but feel it. The energy, the vibe, and the nuance that make it unique. Trusted destination partners share key details that matter most and help paint an overall picture that will inspire you as you present the destination to clients. When you bring a destination to life with confidence and clarity, you build trust, you spark excitement, and you make it that much easier for your clients to say yes. Joining us today to talk about Provence, a region in the south of France, is Ece, the head of marketing at Découvertes, a DMC in France. Let's dive in. Ece, hello. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you.
Hi, Whitney. Me too. I'm very, very happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
So today we're going to dive into all things Provence. Are you in Provence right now? Did you tell me that you're based there?
Yes, I live in Aix-en-Provence, and as Découvertes, we have our office in Fuveau, which is a very small city, very close to Aix-en-Provence. It's basically 10-kilometer drive.
Amazing. So how long have you been there? Tell me a little bit about the time you've spent there and your connection to the region.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Istanbul. I was not born and I didn't grow up in France, but I'm married to a Frenchman, very personal note. And I'm a lot in France since for the last 8 years, but I live here since for the last 4 years. So I'm
Okay.
an ex-was.
Yes, perfect. So this region, before we kind of dive in deep, because there's so much to cover, it's really a big region. I'm actually going to share the map right now just so that everyone can kind of get a sense of what exactly we'll be diving into. Can you see my map here?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so the red dotted line technically outlines what Google defines as Provence, which, if anyone knows this region, you'll already know how broad this is. And if you don't know this region, I think like there's going to be like two key kind of distinctions because, and correct me or tell me, AJ, if you think about this a little bit differently, but I generally think of if you want to go to Provence, you're either choosing the Avignon, Aix-en-Provence area for a hotel, or you're choosing the Nice, Cannes, Saint-Tropez area for a hotel, or you're doing both. But
Yeah,
trying to do all of that from one hotel is
would be
really
too
either
much
a
time.
tremendous amount of car
Yeah.
time or just really too much. It's like borderline not feasible.
Yeah, for like a day trip from Nice to Avignon would be too tiring. It would be too long.
Yes.
So it would make sense to divide a trip into multiple hotels if you want to cover that big of a region from Avignon to Cannes, I would say.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So we're on the same page there. So we'll do our best to kind of dive into everything here. And then there may be a future discussion, to be honest, because this is still a lot. So high level, talk to me about seasonality, because I think that would you say that Provence is a year-round region that anyone can come at any time and visit, or do you feel like there's a specific part of the year that is best to come or best or better to avoid?
So the good thing about Provence, I think it remains interesting for a very long period of the year. I would not really recommend coming here when it's like the winter season from November to the end of March. I find it less charming, to be very honest.
Hmm.
And it's the period where it's likely to have strong winds, which makes the
Hmm.
great wine, but it's not the best when you want to just walk around and discover
Right.
beautiful villages. But as of April until the end of October, it's quite perfect. Obviously, July, August gets a bit hot, especially if you're
Hmm.
willing to spend time in Côte d'Azur or even Avignon. It becomes quite hot to enjoy the stone village and see
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
palaces and stuff. Spring and autumn are the best 2 seasons in my mind, where you see the flowers blooming, the vineyards are starting to look more greener and greener. And autumn is perfect because then you have all these different colors in the nature. And then it's the harvest season, so it's also a different way to experience all this beautiful side of wineries.
Yes.
But the
In
window
terms
is
of
quite long.
in terms of seasonality, the only detail that I can think of that gets a little bit tricky is when clients want to see the lavender fields. And I know that this
Ah,
is like such a specific request,
true.
like very specific, but also one that we get quite often. And from my understanding, kind of late June or like into the first half of July is really the best time to see these fields in full bloom. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it starts in May. I mean, it also a bit depends on the year, right? Some years are
Sure.
hotter and more rainy, etc. So I cannot really be very specific in terms of timing. But as of late May, you start seeing them quite purple and nice. And June is
Okay.
like amazing.
Okay.
And after mid-July, it will be complicated to catch them. Some fields
Okay.
are harvested earlier. It also depends on the altitude. But I mean, depending on the client's travel dates, we try to do the
Okay.
best to
Yeah, that's
guarantee
the
that.
only reason why, as soon as someone tells me that they really want to see the lavender fields, I'm like, okay, well, now you're locked into summer and we
Yeah,
can't do like that spring or fall. And then, of course, if you're there in the summer, then it's perfect to kind of spend a little more time on the beach in the Côte d'Azur or to plan a boat day or to do something that's a little bit more water focused.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, some people swim all year around. To be honest, I'm not that
I'm
courageous,
also not that person.
but it's swimmable late summer as well. Like September, October is perfect actually in the Mediterranean. But definitely like June, July, August is perfect. Most of our travelers actually want to add at least a day on a boat. We do
Yes.
have a very great selection of luxury yachts, and you can go for a day trip or you can rent it for a week. I mean, obviously, it depends how much time you have, but a day on the sea, it's quite amazing to discover the
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
coastline.
I agree. So let's talk about how long, not how long clients actually stay, but how long we wish clients would stay
Oh,
in these two parts of the regions. And we can split it in half because we've already established that
yeah.
if you're staying near Aix-en-Provence, for example, you're not doing a day trip to Nice. So in the Avignon, Aix-en-Provence kind of area, what's like the ideal length of time, would you say? And then we can talk about why, and then we'll go to the Côte d'Azur area.
Yeah. When I think personally, like how much I would want to spend time here, that's how I moved here. I think it's
Yeah.
quite a tricky question. But it's also, I mean, what we always try to understand is what the travelers are really looking for, what they want to experience. Then it's easier to give a better
Well, let's talk
duration
about all
because,
the options. Maybe
yeah,
it's easier to kind of work
yeah,
backwards in terms
yeah,
of like experiences. What is the main draw for clients coming to this area of Avignon or Aix-en-Provence? Like,
yeah,
why are they coming, and what are some of the activities or experiences that that is
yeah.
included in almost every itinerary?
Yeah. So Avignon is historically a very important place. You have the Château-de-Pape, which
Hmm.
was basically the old Vatican. So that's really worth a visit. It's culturally very interesting city. In during the month of July, there's also a big theater festival which
Hmm.
gathers all the artists and shows there. So it gets quite busy. You can, I mean, spend a few days Avignon and around. Obviously, wine tourism is quite important in this region. Châteauneuf-du-Pape is one of the most
Hmm.
known regions, I think, to visit. Also, do private wine tastings and visit the vineyards and everything. So, if you're a wine enthusiast, you can spend easily a few days in the region with a selected list of places and tours.
In this business, time is everything. And too often it gets lost in scattered notes, redoing research, or trying to remember what you learned on a FAM. The Hive puts an end to that. It's your expertise vault, where hotel details, destination insights, and advisor takeaways are captured and organized so they're ready when you need them. Whether you're new, scaling, or leading a team, the Hive helps you save time, streamline your work, and focus on what matters most, serving your clients and growing your business. Learn more anytime at thehive.travel.
Aix-en-Provence is also culturally very rich. There's a lot of galleries and museums to visit. The city is quite charming. It's very nice for the ones who enjoy shopping. It's full of boutiques and it's quite blooming. The markets, the street markets are also quite known for the Nice. The city of Nice is known for it, but Aix-en-Provence is also known for its markets. So quite nice to spend a day exploring those. And overall, in this whole between Avignon, Aix, and actually towards more Côte d'Azur, you have the most beautiful villages of France. They're very iconic to visit. So in the Luberon region and around, we have a lot of very nice villages that are also filled with nice galleries, creator shops, and very unique boutiques. So if you just like to walk in history and enjoy a little bit of shopping and visiting art galleries, it's quite ideal. So it's very easy to fill out an itinerary of a week, especially if you also want to take some time off and have easy mornings and easy afternoons. It can be like a picnic on a lavender field. It can be a picnic on a vineyard and some nice aperitivo time, So that's why it can be quite a different trip. I also think for more sports enthusiasts, it's quite nice to plan a cycling tour or a hiking tour. The region is very rich in terms of activities. You can do a lot, so it can be a
Tell me
guided
more about
e-bike
this
tour.
because the Luberon. So I've been to this area, but it was many, many years ago when I was not yet a travel advisor. So I was
Okay.
not exploring it the way that I would explore it if I went back. Now, one thing I have all clients do every time they're in this region is have a full day in the Luberon region or the area because it's a park, right? Like officially, it's like kind
It's
of
a
like a
national
national
park,
park.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Um, and even when we dedicate a full day with a driver, there are still like decisions to be made. It is still clear
True.
that you can't see this whole park.
Yeah, true.
So drive like right like it just seems to be really, really interesting. And so can you describe the experience to me a little bit to both help listeners understand, but then help us kind of guide clients to decide what feels like the best fit if we could choose like going around the national park with a driver and visiting villages, kind of like what you were just sharing,
Mm-hmm.
versus including some hiking or including a picnic
Yeah.
along the way and being a little bit more active versus kind of biking. Like, is the biking really intense? Is this like Lance Armstrong Tour de France
Yeah.
style biking? Like, what are we talking about?
So, obviously the options are unlimited, I would say. That's why, our Découverte team really tries to understand what the client is looking for in terms of physical condition,
Hmm.
age, and accessibility, and also what really interests them. So, we always have guided tours and private cars, obviously. So you can combine all these things. The level of the physical activity would obviously depend on the physical condition of the traveler, right? So if this person is more like looking for a slow and easy bike ride, we would choose the route that would adjust to that level. There's always the option of going for an e-bike. It's really, very common now in France, especially if you're not
It's a
cycling
lovely
all
way
the
to
time.
vacation.
Yeah, exactly. It's less tiring. It gives more energy to the person who is doing the tour.
Yes.
So it's more comforting. And obviously, the vehicle can accompany them and give a break. It can be a morning session, then you do a nice lunch in one of the very nice restaurants in one of those very cute villages, and the afternoon can continue with a different experience, like it can be a degustation or it can be a private chateau visit, etc. So that's, in terms of hiking or biking, if we speak about the nature, I think it
Hmm.
allows different levels to enjoy the same
Right.
region differently. So it's not only
Yeah.
going climbing or it's not only just flat cycling. I think it's quite easy to entertain different levels, which we
Like
are
the
used
full
to.
the full spectrum. That's
Yeah.
really, I mean, I I understand your difficulty in saying how many days someone should stay in this region
Yeah,
because
you
just in
can.
this national park, I feel like you could keep people busy for a couple days.
Yeah, it's absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so outside, so we've talked a little bit about Avignon and its historical significance, Luberon. Tell me a little bit more about the wineries. Is there a particular wine that Provence is most known for? And like, are the what's the wine experience? Because like everybody, the reason I ask is because everyone's been wine tasting all over the world, and you
Mm-hmm.
have situations where you're like standing at a bar and you're just sipping and you're not really having much kind of conversation, but it's literally
Yeah.
like a wine tasting. There's other venues that it's a full like sit down picnic cheese board
Mm-hmm.
with the wine kind of where it's still not engaging a lot with the winemaker, but just
Hmm.
having like a very beautiful kind of aesthetic of enjoying the wine tasting. Then there's wine tastings with meals. So I feel like wine tasting is almost becoming general or a little bit vague. So when someone says they want to do wine tasting, or when a DMC says we're going to do a wine tasting, I'm always like, I have 20 questions. Like, what kind of wine
Yeah.
tasting are we talking about?
So about that, we also want to know if the travelers are like really wine enthusiasts, what sort of wine they like and
Hmm.
what the taste they're looking for, and if they're really like deep in this topic,
Hmm.
we don't just propose like you mentioned, like it's not just oh let's taste the wine and
Hmm.
see the shop where they sell it. It's not
Yeah.
like that. So it's again obviously we don't want to bore a traveler if they're not very interested in the winemaking. Maybe they shouldn't be spending that amount of time. So Provence region is very famous for its rosé in the world stage,
Yes.
I think. But it's also we do very good red wine, and we obviously know all like a lot of the good producers here. So depending again on the interest level of the person who will do
Hmm.
the visit, then it can be, I mean, obviously it can be a paired dinner, it can be a paired lunch, it can be the winemaker presenting himself.
Hmm.
It's on a case by case that
Sure.
we detail the trip, to be very honest with you.
I so it kind of sounds like, and this wouldn't just be in Provence, this would obviously be all over
Yeah,
France because
this
there's
would be
wine
all,
tasting
yeah,
everywhere. But it
yeah,
feels like some of the key questions that advisors can really dig into with clients is understanding their interest and their
yeah.
preferences, but also like previous experiences in wine tasting because
Also,
I
very
I'm not
helpful.
personally an expert whatsoever. I could not even begin to give you tasting notes on wine, but I
Okay.
do enjoy wine and I know how wine is made. And so I will be the one to say, like, I don't need to see the factory tour again. You know, like
Yeah.
I've definitely seen that. So I
But it
think like
can be,
these are
for
the
instance, like a personal meeting with the owner
sure,
and a sit
sure.
down, a more deep conversation. That's why I like it's really depending.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
obviously,
So
we do the same in Burgundy, in
yeah,
Champagne,
it would be everywhere, of
everywhere in
course.
France. Yeah,
So the full spectrum is really available, and it's like you mentioned, 2 or 3 days alone could be spent wine tasting if that's what someone was interested
yeah,
in.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, what else do we have? We've mentioned
Also, I,
what about? Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, sorry, I thought about a previous tour that one of my colleagues did in the past, which was like mixing painting and wine and
Oh,
doing
maybe
like
the wine would help me paint better. Tell me more about this.
I think it helps everyone. No, because I mean the Provence region is also has been home to some very famous artists like Van Gogh,
Thank you for reminding
Picasso,
me. We
Cézanne.
must talk about
So
Van Gogh.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not the authority to give an art class here, but it's also a region culturally, not only on the historical aspect, but artistic aspect is also quite important. It's like Paul Cézanne is a very important impressionist painter that is from Provence, that has his atelier in Aix-en-Provence. That last year it was a year of Cézanne, and there was very good exposure on that. We brought also a lot of visitors just to Provence to see
Amazing.
that for art enthusiasts. So
Hmm.
my example was like doing a wine tour combined with painting activities. So you do
Okay.
one stop with one local artist from the region who gives you an art class while you're sipping of your local wine on the side. So it can be
This
really,
sounds great.
yeah, I think it's a very special plan for someone
Hmm.
who wants to enjoy a new region, combining art and taste, culinary. So,
So I want to go two directions here. So help me make sure that I don't forget. Let's talk a little
yeah.
bit about what the experiences look like in terms of the artists. So Paul Cézanne and Van Gogh specifically, because I've planned what I call with clients like a Van Gogh day. Like you're going to go to all
Okay.
the places that are kind of related to Van Gogh. And then we can flip over and talk about the more kind of hands-on workshop artisanal
Yeah, sure.
style of experiences. So tell me about the artist first. If a client lets us know that they are really interested in the artists and they want to know about some experiences or some tours, along
Mm-hmm.
those lines, what's possible?
So, I mean, obviously, this would be a guided experience which could
Hmm.
walk the path of the artist in his story. That it can be his workshop, it can be his previous residency, if there's a museum that can be combined to it, it can be a path to his lifespan in the
Hmm.
region
Is
as an
it
option.
for these artists? I haven't done this experience myself. For these artists, are there museums to visit? Are there homes to visit? Are there galleries? Like, what exactly are you seeing and doing during the day?
Yeah, for instance, for Paul Cézanne, it's the easiest that comes to my mind. It's you can visit his workshop. It's a
Okay.
museum. It's open to visits. You
Okay.
can also visit the iconic places where he painted from. It's quite known that he painted a lot the Provence landscape and the
Hmm.
famous mountain Saint Victoire.
Hmm.
So, for instance, you can, he has a painting cabin on that national, it's also a national park and under protection. So, you can walk his path. You can
Okay.
see where his family resided. You can see his childhood house, etc., etc. So, you
Hmm.
really can have more a perspective on his personal past
Hmm.
and also
Hmm.
his works as an example.
Okay, wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of artisanal workshop hands-on. So like I love when clients tell me that they're interested in these things. Like they want to learn, the history and culture is good. They want to go to the museums, but they also want to like do something. Like they, want to get their
Create
hands dirty.
something.
So yeah, they want to create something. So what options are available or possible in this area of
In
Provence?
this area specifically, you have tough questions. I think one thing that comes very easily to my mind is perfume
Hmm.
workshop. We work with a very nice house in Aix that you can create an essence.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
can be one thing. It can be culinary experiences that, I mean, in the end, you probably don't take it back home because you need to eat it. But we work with very great chefs, local chefs from the region, where you can do a workshop of cooking that you can discover how to cook a regional meal, or it can be a French plate as well. With local produce, we support a lot working with local products and local chefs. They're quite good,
Well, and the
either
markets are
starred or not.
so great in the area anyways that that really
Yes,
supports.
yeah. I mean, the region is so rich in terms of local produce for agriculture, and we are not far from the sea. We have great meat products. We
Hmm.
have the best of everything. I mean, France is quite strong in culinary anyway, so
Hmm.
a culinary workshop is often very desired by travelers. So it also gives them sort of access to the cultural understanding
Hmm.
of what we eat and what we consume here.
Right. When it comes to
But it can
culinary and
also,
food related experience.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, there has been a second of delay. No, for in
I
terms of
was.
yeah, for artisanal works, it can also
Hmm.
be working with a creator. It can be I'm just giving as an example. It can be a painting workshop. It can
Hmm.
be a sculpture workshop. It can be more leather workmanship kind of a craft atelier. It's also, again, we always look for
Everything.
inspirations of the personal interests of
Hmm.
travelers. Like, there's a question we try to ask as much as possible. It's like, what do they dream of? Like, three things that they think of when they said, I want to go to Provence or I want to go to Burgundy. So we want to come up with like
Hmm.
great options for you to
Right.
propose. Yeah.
In terms of on the culinary topic, for clients who love food but are not looking for like the hands-on cooking class,
Uh-huh.
are there food related experiences available in Provence that are more like tastings or, like enjoying food but not cooking?
Yeah, obviously. Luckily so, because not everybody wants to cook.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as I said, we love working with local chefs and very great restaurants, and also some restaurants are from land to the table, so they grow their
Hmm.
own produce and they serve the meal with their own produce, or they try to source as much as possible. So we have a big list of places where you can have one of the best culinary experiences in France. I mean, we cannot disassociate France and food,
Yeah.
obviously. So,
Yeah.
but very specific to the region. I mean, apart from having a very nice meal where you can get to taste local dishes and maybe more bigger picture French cuisine, let's say, Provence region, Aix-en-Provence, for instance, is famous for its calisson. Calisson is sort of a small sweet bite, I would say. It's made from almonds and fruit paste.
Oh,
So that's very typical to take back with you to give to
sure.
your family,
Yeah.
Or, I mean, lavender is obviously a very iconic product, and
Hmm.
from which we get ice cream. It's used in some certain sauces, and it's kind of one thing to taste. Maybe not everybody loves the lavender ice cream, I would say. Not my favorite,
Um,
but it's great to
oh, I
taste
would
it.
definitely try it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
I've had
it's
it
really
before.
it's something to taste, I mean.
Hmm.
So obviously you have very tiny bits and pieces to taste when you're here. Apart from the cuisine of Provence, I would say it's obviously Mediterranean, so it's
Hmm.
tomato, garlic, and the Provence, herbe de Provence, we say it's like a mix of thyme and rosemary and oregano and
Hmm.
savory. So the food is it's very wide from the sea to the land. I mean, you have a lot
Hmm.
of seafood and fish-based meals. You have a lot of vegetarian choices, and you obviously have the meaty versions. But it's quite wide. I mean,
So can we can we shift to accommodations a little bit before we move on to the Côte d'Azur? Because the next most difficult question I
oh,
talk about with clients is how to choose where to stay and not which hotel, but
okay.
whether to stay in town, like in Avignon or in
Ah,
Aix-en-Provence, or out in the countryside.
yeah.
Um, I would love to know your perspective on this because the
It's a
hotels are
tough question.
beautiful and there's so many great
Yeah.
hotels to choose from. And of course, yes, availability, budget, yes, 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 we know. But if, all things like put that to the side, assume that all of that is okay, like how would you guide a traveler to help them decide whether they wanted to stay in a small village or out in the countryside?
It's again very personal. That's why we want to decide on these things case by case. But obviously, if you stay in town in X, let's say, you still can do day trips to the nearby villages during the day, because there are some villages that are like 30 minutes, 40 minutes drive away, or 1 hour, let's say. So it's still doable if you want to do a day trip to a small village and you don't want to feel like you're in a small village in the night, because if you
Hmm.
stay obviously more central, maybe you can enjoy also more the city life aspect, because
Hmm.
that changes. But having said that, wherever you go in this Provence region, tourism is quite elevated. So you can choose a very nice accommodation in a vineyard.
Hmm.
It can be a villa in a vineyard. It can also be a nice suite in the city center. Like you can feel very secluded while you're staying in Aix-en-Provence, just as an
Hmm.
example, because
Hmm.
the properties, they are quite spacious, and they, some of them, like, no, I think the I mean, they have a garden feeling, so you wouldn't feel like you're squeezed
Sure.
in the city center. But having said that, you can be also in the main street in a very nice apartment downtown,
Hmm.
and just walking out in the morning to buy your fresh baguette. I mean, it's
Which is
it's really difficult
amazing.
to answer this with a with a simple this or that. Like the
Yeah.
choices are quite wide. We don't
The
only,
choices are overwhelming.
yeah. That's why it's
I've
good
been
to
there.
know.
I've had a lot of
Yeah.
clients there and I've done a lot of research on it and I'm still very overwhelmed every time it comes to like deciding the hotel. I'm like, I don't know. There are so many good options.
Yeah, there's the good thing with us. I mean, it will sound like I'm advertising, but we try the hotels before we propose in any itinerary. So someone from the team, every year we go and we accommodate, we stay in the hotel, we experience the hotel before we put it in an itinerary. So we really
Hmm.
know what we talk about when we suggest a hotel in terms of
Hmm.
comfort, service, reachability,
Hmm.
the whole feeling when you're
Yes.
staying there. So that's the good side of working with Découvertes when you're choosing a hotel, especially.
Yeah.
It
That
gets
is
quite
really,
complicated.
yeah, that is a really important piece of working with the DMC is really
Yeah,
that your team can help understand the hotels.
yeah,
Um,
obviously.
have we covered everything? Shall we shift over to the Côte d'Azur?
Ooh, yes.
If you're tired of scattered notes slowing you down, the Hive is your expertise vault. Everything's organized, streamlined, and ready when you need it. Learn more at thehive.travel. So logistically, I mean, technically there's a train, I believe, from Marseille to Nice, but do you have
Yeah.
I imagine that you have most travelers going with a private driver?
Yes, I would say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I think the benefit that I've seen going with a private driver is that you can kind of make it an interesting day and stop somewhere along the way that would otherwise maybe be too far from it like as a day trip. But if you're
Yeah,
stopping along the way and
possible.
then continuing on,
Yeah, true. I think the road is from Aix to Nice is about 2 hours, very similar from Marseille, maybe a bit longer from Marseille. But you definitely can plan it differently at a stop on the way, see a small
mhm,
town, have a very nice lunch, and do a bit of a guided tour, walk around before you reach to your accommodation in Nice. The train, I think it's not the best. It's not a high speed train. It's like the
right.
banlieue train. I think the private car would be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the regional train, it's stopping along
Yes,
the
I mean
way,
it's
like
an
quite a few
experience
times.
if you really
Yeah.
want
It's
to
not
do that.
bad.
It's
It's not the
charming.
high speed train.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. It's just yeah, and it's less. Maybe there are less times, and so I would really advise to go by private car overall.
So my next question is going to be the most difficult question, I think, because
Mm,
this is also I have been here and I do know all these towns and I still
okay.
really, really struggle with where to stay along the Côte d'Azur. So if most clients who have never been here do not understand this area,
Uh,
and most do not understand that like it's not always super easy to just bop between all the towns,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like traffic is complicated. The trains are like the regional trains. Like yes, anything is possible and yes, we can arrange a helicopter for you.
Yeah.
But like it's not staying here and then just going to all different places every single day can sometimes be a little bit challenging. So
True.
for how would you think about the client profile or how would you describe like if you want this then you should stay in Nice but if you're looking for this then maybe you should consider staying in Saint-Tropez, like how would you walk an advisor or a traveler through this thought process?
Oh, but yeah, difficult question. I think again, it depends how many days the client can allocate for this trip. Would be also very
I mean,
important to
let's just say
decide.
it's not a deciding factor, like it's a lot, it's not the problem, the
Ah,
question, the
yeah,
challenge
then
is more where.
yeah, I think Nice gives more the big city aspect. For instance, the cultural, the architecture, the street foods, and the famous walk on the coast. It's a bigger city. It's a different feeling.
Hmm.
Monaco is very different. Cannes is very different. Saint-Tropez is very different. There are some activities you can do in all. Like you can plan a beach holiday in any of these
Hmm.
destinations, but I think it would be important to ask a question like what sort of experiences that they want to complement their stay with. Like, are they more looking for day trips for to spend in more nature? Do they want to go to maybe some, like from Nice, you can reach to a national park, you can plan a day hike. If you want to go to see the Grand Prix in Monaco, maybe then you're just staying in Monaco and enjoying the atmosphere there. If you want to go on a sea adventure, maybe you will want to stay mostly in Saint-Tropez and have a yacht from Saint-Tropez. So yeah, this question will be difficult to answer, but like I think it's not. I mean, it's still doable if you really insist to stay in one place and do a day trip to another. What we make sure to communicate well is the trip duration and if we would advise or not. And obviously, we leave you the choice to rediscuss with the traveler.
Do you often have clients doing a split stay on the Côte d'Azur? Is that what you mean?
Yes. I mean, obviously, if you want to do 3 nights somewhere, 3 nights somewhere, this is often possible. Yeah.
I mean, I already knew this, but I think that the summary of our conversation is that the Provence alone can be the entire vacation.
Yes. I mean, France is a very big country, and it's
It is a
full
very
of
big country,
things
but
to
also
discover.
this particular region is especially rich in terms of experiences
Yes,
and
true.
hotels and different things to see and do.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you share some of the top highlight experiences that are available in the Côte d'Azur region, that especially those that would be different than what you could do if you were staying in Avignon or Aix-en-Provence?
I think the sea adventures, it's, I think maybe 90% of the time, clients want to have a day minimum on the sea.
Hmm.
So we do arrange often a very luxury, nice yacht to spend a day. Some clients are looking only for that, so they go for a week option. I think Nice really attracts people with its cute streets and markets and antique shops and everything. One thing. Cannes is a very different vibe in terms of more luxury shopping, very
Hmm.
nice boutiques. So that's more for shoppers. And we also have a lot of very nice private villa estates. So some clients, they come for their family vacations where they stay in one single spot. And then it gives the opportunity to do family members different things during their stay. So
Hmm.
it also allows people to go for different activities, like maybe some of them choose a more sporty trip
Hmm.
and the others just enjoy the city and culinary journeys. So
Hmm.
I'd say so.
What about, I mean, there's also perfume making in Grasse, I believe, similar
Yes,
to
true.
what might be possible in Aix-en-Provence. For anyone who's really interested in art or the artisanal types of experiences, is there anything that's available in the Côte d'Azur area, or is that primarily more in the Aix-en-Provence area?
No. Obviously, like you said, I mean, Grasse is a very also sought after location
Hmm.
to visit and for these kind of activities. Eze is also one of the villages that's quite
Hmm.
known,
Hmm.
attracts people. Obviously, we will not impose to going to Aix-en-Provence if someone wants to. It's
Sure.
doable. Yeah, exactly.
And I think just in general, all of these villages are not, you have all the villages or all the towns that are on the water, but then you have all the villages that are up kind of in the mountains a little bit.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I don't know that there's something specific that you need to go do in each one, but just walking around all of them is just so charming. Like that's
Oof.
usually just a day alone because there's just shops and galleries and restaurants and cafes
Yes,
and they're
exactly.
so charming.
Yes, true. So you can do a day trip to these villages.
Mm.
Same in more closer to X. That's what I mentioned when I say like village trips for day trips. So you can do the
Mhm.
same from Côte d'Azur region when you're staying. So this is possible.
I'm just looking through notes here. In terms of like soft adventure and for clients who are interested in being a little bit more active, if they're only going to the Côte d'Azur area and they're not going over by Avignon and Luberon,
Mm-hmm.
what what can people do if they want to be? Is there biking? Is there hiking? Are there things that are a little bit more adventurous in Côte d'Azur, or that's just not the best
Yes.
place if you want to do that type of thing?
No. It's possible. It's really possible in like when we spoke about Aix and Avignon region, we spoke about Luberon. And when we
Yes.
talk about Côte d'Azur, very close to Nice, you have Mercantour. It's also a national park. It's the mountains that's like bordering to Italy. And that national park is quite beautiful, very, very wild and nice. It's very good for adventure seekers if you're
Oh,
enjoying
here.
hiking.
Oh, ooh,
If
look at
you
that
can
picture.
type Mercantour. Yeah,
Yeah.
Parc National de Mercantour. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there it is.
it's amazing. This
Wow.
is a very, very beautiful region. I mean, it's impressive when you see the wild goats walking on a non-existing side of a mountain, cliff of a
Yeah.
mountain.
How
And
far? I'm just curious to know, like, how far is the drive? Oh, about an hour and 45 minutes from
yeah,
Nice. Okay. So
yeah.
it'd be a full day trip to kind of get up here, enjoy the
Yes,
area,
exactly.
and then kind of come back.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know about that park. That's really beautiful.
It's a very yeah, it's wonderful. I went recently. My memories are very fresh.
Yeah, you've been. Oh, that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah.
What are there? I'm trying to think. We've talked about everything, and I also want to make sure that we haven't forgotten anything. So I generally think of Provence as kind of, I describe it to clients as a lifestyle destination. It's a place that you can be really, really busy, but it's not like Paris or Rome where you're deep diving into history every single day with like these
Yeah.
very like overwhelming historical tours, but it's much more about the lifestyle. It's enjoying the villages, wine tasting, shopping, enjoying the sea, maybe going to the markets and a cooking class, maybe shopping some more.
Yes, true. It
Like I
can be
think
an
of,
easy vacation filled with
yeah,
a lot of
like you can be
conscious
very,
also
very
cultural
busy.
tours.
It's like this really beautiful combination of being really busy and relaxed.
True, very, very, very true. Yeah.
Like every day has something, every day is full, like there's a plan for the day, but
Yeah.
what you're going to be doing that day is mostly relaxing and really enjoyable.
Exactly what I also think. For instance, I think like a sunset picnic in a lavender field is an amazing experience, and
I'm
you will
gonna
have
fly. It's the end of
yeah.
May. I'm gonna fly to
You should come.
Provence
It's the
next month to
perfect
come
time.
see you so we can do this. This sounds
Amazing.
amazing.
That's perfect. We definitely should do that. I mean, everything has like I think when you're eating the almonds from Provence and tasting the
Hmm.
melon from
Melon. Yeah.
Provence, yeah.
Hmm.
And obviously, it's also this region is very famous for its olive oil tasting and the local products and wide variety of this beautiful goat and sheep cheese from the region. But obviously, France is, I mean, we are very well known for the big
Hmm.
selection of cheese and the wine pairings. And I think it can be a very softly busy vacation when
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
afternoon is a sunset picnic on a lavender field. I mean, it's
Yeah.
quite relaxing.
It sounds amazing,
Yeah.
honestly. So if we go back to the first question, I think you need about 6 months in Provence. Do you think that's enough time?
Yeah, I think so too. We definitely can find a villa for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in all seriousness, I have planned full vacations for travelers spending 10 to 12 days only in Provence.
Okay, yeah. I think that's
And
a perfect
I mean,
yeah
it's definitely
duration.
slow travel. It's definitely
Yeah,
like not trying to tick all the boxes and see the entire country of
true.
France. But it is very possible to fill 10 or 12, especially if you split it between like three hotels, do like kind of 4 nights each and bop
Yes,
around. Like, and it was a really, it was one of those itineraries that I kind of sent out and I was like, I love this for you. And can I do it too?
yes.
Because it's so beautiful.
True, true. I definitely agree. When I talk about like we are having this conversation and it just makes me appreciate more that I live in this beautiful region to be very
Yes.
honest.
Yes, agreed. AJ, this has been so wonderful. I have been to Provence, but it's been a really, really long time. So now it's kind of reinvigorated my motivation to get back
Yeah, I'm
and to
looking
enjoy
forward
a
to meeting
sunset
you here. Huh?
picnic in lavender fields. Thank you so much for just your time and your willingness to kind of dive into all of these insights. It's been really wonderful.
It's a pleasure. Very nice to have this conversation with you. I hope it will be an inspiration for the ones who are listening.
Okay, we're back. We forgot about
Yeah,
logistics, which are super,
true.
super important in this region. So
True.
We have the Avignon and Aix-en-Provence area, and we have the Nice Côte d'Azur area. So first, tell me about possible entry points for trains, and then we'll talk about flights.
Okay. So from Paris, Avignon has a TGV station, so you can arrive in Avignon with a fast train. Same goes for Aix-en-Provence. So Avignon is actually a stop on the way from Aix to Paris, and Aix to Paris is 3.5 hours. You can
Yes.
obviously continue until Marseille with the same train line. That would be 4 hours more
Yes.
maximum.
So Paris to Marseille is 4 hours, and then but it's high speed, so you can just
Yeah, it's
basically
high
choose when
speed.
you want to get off. And you can also get off in Lyon, which is a totally different region, but
No,
another kind of.
Lyon is a separate line from Paris.
Oh,
Lyon
it's a
is
different
direct.
line.
Yes.
Oh, good.
I think
Okay.
it's two. Maybe no. Wait, you're right. Some passes by Saint-Exupéry,
Some
but not
stop and some
all.
don't. Okay.
No,
Okay.
not all.
But Paris, Marseille is 4 hours. Paris, Aix-en-Provence is 3.5, and then Avignon must be around 3 or
Yeah,
just a
it's
little bit more.
three,
But
I
it's
would
very
say.
convenient,
Yeah,
super
true.
convenient,
It's very convenient.
especially if clients want a little bit of time in Paris before coming down to Provence.
We often get that actually. People want to land in Paris, enjoy maybe 2-3 nights in Paris or less, and then come down to South and enjoy South.
Yeah,
Some clients with kids, they want to do like Disneyland, then South. So they mix
sure,
and match like kids'
sure.
leisure and Southern holidays.
So this
That
is good if
happens.
clients want to arrive into Paris. If clients are not looking to arrive into Paris and they want to skip and they just want to fly directly into the south of France, what are the main options that we have?
And the main option I would say is Nice.
Okay.
On the southeastern parts, Nice has quite good connections and international flights. Marseille also has a few, but mostly to Canada, I believe, not to the US. But Nice airport is quite good. It's very close to the city as well. And we obviously provide a private meet and greet and transport to the accommodation with the
Yeah. So I've
clients.
had clients arriving into Nice and Marseille, and I think it depends on where are they going to go in Provence,
True.
like which region, and also where are they flying from. And this is going to be different for every client
Yeah,
in terms of their departure city and their connections.
true.
So I do always check both options just to kind of see
Yeah.
which is the best and
And the
decide from there.
clients, if they actually want to skip this whole Paris stop, even if Nice, the good side is there are direct flights, but Marseille, you can obviously have a layover somewhere and arrive to Marseille. But maybe it's less of a nice experience. So for direct flights, I think the best location is Nice to land.
Yep. Amazing. I think that's everything we forgot, but very important details. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We
Ece.
haven't spoken about private jet options, but
I do know there are some helicopters. Do you want to tell me how you helicopter around the Côte d'Azur?
yeah, it is possible. I think on Saint-Tropez, you can also change
Or to
locations.
Monaco too, right?
Yes, true. And obviously, we work with private jet arrangements as well. So if the clients want to tailor an itinerary, we check what's available and organize accordingly. So
Perfect.
the options
Now we
are
know everything.
unlimited. Yeah.
Now we officially know everything about Provence. Thank you, Ece.
Yeah. Well, very nice to have you today.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Hive Mind podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you know a friend or colleague who would enjoy this, please share it with them. If you would like insights from this episode landing in your inbox each week, join our newsletter at thehive.travel/podcast. And remember, if you'd like to contribute to a future episode, whether it's sharing your destination expertise or your experience touring hotels, just head to thehive.travel/podcast to learn more and express your interest. We'd love to have you join the conversation. Until next time.